Hello one and all, and welcome to True Fan Forum. In this video I want to talk about the latest series to feature everybody's favorite time-traveling mutant with the ridiculously large guns, Cable. Now before I get into any sort of discussion of the writing or the artwork, let me just say that this was overall a fun, simple, straightforward series. There's nothing earth-shattering about it. There's nothing that completely redefines the character. In essence, it's just 5 issues of Cable traveling through time to various eras and beating the living snot out of people. Which, again, is fine by me. I mean, I had fun reading it. Now, interestingly enough, over the last few months, it seems that a lot of attention has been paid to Cable. In addition to this series, he appeared in Uncanny Avengers. He's appeared in video games. He's appeared in Contest of Champions and Marvel Future Fight. And I guess that's all sort of Marvel trying to capitalize on any interest created from the fact that Cable will appear in Deadpool 2, which has got me excited because I'm a big fan of Cable and I can't wait to see him in the movie. So again, I guess Marvel's just trying to draw attention to the character and just really trying to capitalize on the interest from the movie appearance. Which, there's nothing wrong with that. It's smart. Okay, saying again. Hey, I got a good comic series out of it, so I'm happy. Now, with that out of the way, let me talk about specifics of this series. First off, let me talk about the writing, which was done by James Robinson. And to me, Robinson has a very interesting style. That it's very simple. It's really straight to the point. There's not a lot of needless exposition or any of that. Now, one thing I did find kind of troubling was the first issue. In that, again, there's no real setup. There's no exposition. We're just sort of dropped right into the middle of the action without a clear idea of kind of what's going on. All we know from the first issue is that Cable is hunting down another time traveler who has been going to various eras and giving advanced weaponry to people with the hopes that those guys will either use the weaponry to, again, either kill Cable or at least slow him down. And again, that's pretty much all we know from the first issue. We don't know who the villain is. We don't know what the villain is after. We really don't even know how Cable got to be on his trail in the first place. But thankfully, with each subsequent issue, more and more is revealed. We learn who the villain is, we learn what they're after, all of that. So by the end of the series, we get a full story, and it's pretty good. But again, to me, this sort of lack of details can be problematic, especially in the first issue. Because in the first issue, you really have to hook the potential audience members' attention so that they will want to read the following issues. Now, for some people, the lack of details is not a big problem. There's enough there that they could have interest and say, you know what? Okay, I'm interested. Let me read issue 2, issue 3, whatever. However, there are some who might feel that there's just not enough there to capture interest. They might even feel sort of disconnected, sort of okay, what's going on? What's happening? Is there another comic I have to read? I don't really know what's going on. I'm not going to bother with it. Now, obviously, I'm of the camp that there was enough there to keep me going. But again, I can kind of see where you could lose interest if you're really not committed for the long haul. Again, James Robinson, he's not a bad writer, simple style, not a lot of narration, not a lot of exposition, or not a lot of flowery stuff, just straight to the point, which I don't mind. Just at the beginning, lack of details could hamper people's interest. Again, some people. But again, alright story. Now, what I really loved about the comic was the artwork, because the artwork is just beautiful. I mean, just stunning artwork, great detail, great action scenes. In fact, let me show you, from the first issue, let me show you one page I just love. And it's basically where we first see Cable. Now, look. Now, to me, look at this. Let me just give me close. Look at this. Oh, look. This is wonderful. I mean, it's bold. It's, in your face. It really sets up who Cable is. In fact, I love the line of that page where it says, no need for introductions. And you know what? You don't need introductions. that pose, that setting, that frame sets it all up. It's just awesome. Now another aspect I love of of this comic is the weaponry, specifically the weaponry that we see given to the, I guess, thugs in every era Cable visits, because it's got this wonderful detail in that all of the weaponry has a sort of pixelated look to it. Let me give you a couple examples. Again, all from the first issue, because I don't want to really spoil anything in the subsequent issues. Now again, here's the first issue, where we see a bunch of guns given to a bunch of gunslingers. Let me zoom up close. I don't know if you can see it in this well. Here it is. Let me zoom up. Sorry for the detail, but again, hopefully you can see there's a really sort of interesting pixelated look to it. Again, then let me give you another example. Again, from first issue. Here we go. There we go. That's much, much better. I mean, look at that. I love the way they designed that energy field, because it's so new, it's so interesting. It's something I've never seen before, and it immediately draws my attention. Now, another aspect I love is that, again, since Cable is traveling through time, visiting various eras, all of the weaponry given to the thugs in each issue is weaponry that's based on the specific era and culture of that time, which I just love for two reasons. The first reason is it just looks cool. I mean, come on. The samurais with the energy swords, the gunslingers with the obviously futuristic guns. That's just cool. Now, the second reason I like it is that it makes sense to give weaponry, even advanced weaponry, that's going to resemble something the people of that era and culture understand and know how to use. Because again, if you were to give guns to people who have never even seen a gun before, that's going to cause problems. First off, they're not going to have any idea what those weapons are. They're not going to know how to use them. They might be intimidated or even afraid to use the weapons. And since the whole point of giving the weapons to those people is that they use it to kill Cable, that's going to be problematic if they don't know how to use them. And again, it's going to make Cable's job of wiping the floor of them even easier than it already is. But by designing weapons around something they understand, again, they know what it is. A sword is a sword, even if it is glowing. It's still a sword. They're going to know how to use it. Same thing. A gun is a gun. So again, the learning curve is not as steep, and they can adapt to it better. And one thing I want to say that's interesting about it is apparently the artwork was done actually by a couple of different groups. Now, in the first three issues, the artwork was handled by Carlos Pacheco on pencils, Rafael Fontiers on inks, and Jesus Urbatov on colors. But in the last two issues, there's a switch in that the artwork from issues 4 and 5, the artwork is handled by, and oh, by the way, if at any point I mangle any of the names, I do apologize. I don't mean disrespect, I'm just not sure how to pronounce these names, and they're a little tricky. So I'm just doing the best I can. Again, I don't mean to offend anyone. If you understand how these names are actually pronounced, please forgive me. I really don't. Anyway, so the artwork for issue 4 and 5 is handled by Yildiray Sinar, with colors done by Jesus Urbatov and also in issue 4 the colors were also done by Federico Belli. Now what's interesting about the artwork for these comics, is that even though it's done by different artists, the styles are really similar. Now I don't know if that was done on purpose to sort of create continuity and not to be too jarring for readers, or those particular artists just have similar styles. But again, it's not 100% the same. There's a few differences and a few little touches that each artist brings to the comics that you can kind of identify. Oh, okay, that's interesting. That's a different artist. Again, nothing wrong with it. All the artwork is just beautiful. That's really my favorite part of this series, is just the wonderful, eye-catching, dynamic artwork that these artists bring to the comic. Again, I just love them. Hope to see them in the future because honestly, Marvel needs to keep them on the payroll. They do fantastic work. So I guess that's all. Let me to sum everything up. This was a fun series, straightforward. The writing's okay, a bit sparse on details, might be a little problematic, grabbing attention in the first issue, but overall, it's a good storyline, and it is fulfilling at the end. And the artwork, oh, the artwork is just beautiful. My favorite part of the series. I love, the interesting pixelated energy fields. I love, you know, the weapons that are designed and based around specific time and specific cultures we get to see in each issue. It's eye popping, it's beautiful, love it. So if you're looking for a fun, simple read with some good artwork, I do recommend this Cable series. Because again, it's just fun, and I really do hope to see more of the writer and the artists in the future because they've got some interesting styles. So again, that's all, folks. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave a comment, but please, if you're gonna leave a comment, be respectful and, polite. That's all I ask. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.